Hi guys, how you all doing? My name is Raymond Malone, and I'm very happy and excited to come with you guys to this small presentation. We have representatives from TMRS and TCDRS to help us through this retirement presentation. If you could please introduce yourself, Richard. Let me get you.
I got it, Ray.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes, if our representatives can please introduce themselves.
Yeah, well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank y'all for having me here. My name's Richard Ashcraft. I'm a Member Services Field Representative with TCDRS, Texas County and District Retirement System here in Austin.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lorraine Moreno, and I am with TMRS as well. And I'm here just to answer any questions and help you in any way I can. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Now, again, this is being, of course, presentation for our health district employees who have questions about retirement plans, monies that may or may not be going to different retirement programs, always depending upon situations that occur. So I'm very excited and happy to bring this presentation to you to calm everyone about any situations or problems they might have or any questions, because we know that questions will always arise and everyone always wants to make sure that the goal is for everyone to be happy and making sure that their hard work definitely pays off. And again, as a city representative, my name is Raymond Malone. I work for the city manager's office. I'm very excited to have the ability to share this with you all today. Now, with that being said, Ms. Lorraine, she's going to be taking care of this presentation, and Richard will also chime in when TCDRS questions come into play. So again, hopefully you guys enjoy and we get informative, and we should be good to go. So with that being said, Lorraine, would you like to kick us off?
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry, just to clarify, you're controlling the flight, am I correct?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah. So basically, the city of Corpus, as an employee, you contribute 7%, and that's 7% of payroll. The time that you have with the county, it doesn't actually count in the system with TMRS, but you can use it to meet retirement eligibility. So you don't want to actually pull your money if you're with the county. You don't want to pull your money from them. You want to leave it with both systems and draw a pension from both eventually is the way it works. But the service time, again, does transfer. We can never combine monies, but we can combine the time. And the city of Corpus does match you at 2-to-1, which is 200%. And if and when you do meet retirement eligibility, you do have the ability to draw what we call a lifetime benefit, which means for the rest of your life. You as an employee, you can draw a benefit for the rest of your life. The way to forfeit that is if you quit employment and you refund your account, you pull your money. Because that's another thing to remember. If and when you do meet retirement eligibility, you want to make sure that with TMRS, you indicate that you want to retire and draw a monthly benefit. Because if you refund your account to us, you're just taking your bucket of money, your deposits and interest. Because you can tell us, you know what, I want to retire, but I want to take all my money out. And believe me, we hear it all the time. To us, you're refunding. And when you do that, again, you forfeit the city's matching. So you want to make sure that you do retire and draw a monthly benefit. With the city of Corpus, you do vest at 5 years. And vesting just means you earn the benefit to draw a future retirement benefit. Because if you are vested and you leave employment with the city, you have the ability to leave your money in with Corpus and under TMRS. It continues to draw interest. So there's 2 ways to retire with the city of Corpus. You can retire with 20 years of service at any age, or 5 years of service at age 60, whichever one you get to first. So on this example, again, you have 5 years for the city, you leave employment, you go to the private sector, not to another system, you go to the private sector. You can continue to leave your money in. It continues to draw interest. At the age of 60, you can come back and retire the account and start drawing a pension. But if you have 5 years with the service, you have 5 years of service with the city, and then you go to the county or you go to the city, another TMRS city, or you go to the teacher's retirement. Well, because if you do go to another system, we can use the time, is what I want to make sure that you understand. Like I mentioned earlier, we can combine the time. We can never combine the monies, but we can combine the time. So if you have 5 years with the city and you go to the county, you go work 15 years for the county, well, that makes you eligible to retire under TMRS. That doesn't mean you can retire with the county at the same time, because their eligibility might be different, but you are able to use your time from TMRS to meet retirement eligibility over there as well. And like I mentioned earlier, if you leave your money, if you're vested and you leave employment, your account under TMRS will continue to earn interest. And it is compounding interest. 5% is what we're paying right now. And then we've got COLAs. If and when you meet retirement eligibility with the city of Corpus and you retire, the city right now has the provision to give you a cost of living raise, which is an annuity. It's a COLA is what we call them. The thing about it with TMRS, you have to be retired a whole year in order to be entitled to it. So please make sure that you do understand how the COLAs work. Because one thing to remember, again, you have to be retired a whole year. In this example I'm going to give, you retired in December of 2021. December of 2022 comes around and the city does give the cost of living raise still. That doesn't mean you're eligible for it, because you haven't been retired the full year. You left in December, but your first payment wasn't until January. So that means that you have to wait a whole year, another full year, in order to be entitled to it. And then retirement eligibility, like I mentioned earlier with the city of Corpus, there's 2 ways to retire: 20 years of service at any age, or 5 years at age 60, whichever one you get to first. We've got also updated service credit. Updated service credit is a benefit that basically allows your annuity payment or your benefit to be increased. The thing about the updated service credits, you have to have a promotion-wise, not a merit increase. And this is one of the most complicated provisions to explain, but basically USC comes into play when there's a plan change or a salary increase, and we're talking promotion-wise of probably a $4,000 or $5,000 increase. That is when you probably will see updated service credits come into play into your account. But if you're an employee that's been steady, you started from day one, and your salary really hasn't increased very much, you've gotten merit increases here and there, more than likely you will not see you will not see any updated service credits in your account. So again, if y'all have any questions, please let me know. So we can go to the next slide, please.
And so a lot of information that you heard regarding TMRS, you're going to hear some similarities as we talk about TCDRS. So Texas County and District Retirement System, as an employee of TCDRS, as an employee of Nueces County, 7% is contributed from pay. So very similar to what you just heard with TMRS, 7% of a county employee, it goes into their account. Each year, the interest amount is different. So TCDRS members accrue 7% compound interest annually. Okay, so that's what you, as a county employee, is doing to save for retirement into TCDRS. They're contributing 7% into their account, and then each year they're earning 7% compound interest. The service time from other public retirement systems is what we call proportionate service. So if you have proportionate service, that just means if you have service time from Employees Retirement System, ERS, the Judicial Retirement System, JRS, TRS, Teachers Retirement System, TMRS, time transfers as well as if you ever lived in the city of Austin, worked for the city of Austin Retirement System. That's called proportionate service. And what that means is that if you have service time with any one of those 5 systems, you can add that service time to your service time with TCDRS. And that service time allows you to meet your vesting period and a retirement eligibility rule a little sooner. It's a time benefit not a monetary benefit, but it allows you to meet those vesting and retirement eligibility rules sooner. Now, when we talk about matching dollars, very similarly to the city of Corpus Christi, Nueces County matches their employees' retirement account at 200% or $2 from the county for each dollar in the employee's account at retirement. So always remember, if you have a TCDRS account, your money in your TCDRS account and the matching money from Nueces County will always remain separate until you go to take a retirement benefit. You can never get matching dollars all at one time. It's only paid out through a monthly lifetime retirement benefit when you choose to leave employment and you've met your eligibility and you take that monthly retirement benefit for life. And that's the whole goal, is that when we retire, we have enough income replacement. And so the great thing is you cannot outlive your lifetime benefit with TCDRS. The only way you ever forfeit your right to those matching dollars is very similar to TMRS, is if you were to, say, separate employment from Nueces County or any other TCDRS employer, and you were to pull your money out, either through a rollover or through a withdrawal. Anytime you pull money out all at one time, you do forfeit the right to those matching dollars. You only receive those matching dollars through a lifetime monthly retirement benefit. And the good thing is about those matching dollars, when we talk about that, is those are being pre-funded throughout an employee's career. And that's the beauty of TCDRS as well as TMRS, is your benefits are pre-funded throughout your career. So once you go to take those retirement benefits, those monies have already been pre-funded for you. So not only are you working hard for your retirement benefit through your hard work and your contributions, but so is your employer. So it's kind of a joint effort. The vesting period with TCDRS and Nueces County is 8 years of service. So it's a little bit higher than what it is there with TMRS, but 8 years of service is your vesting period with TCDRS and Nueces County. Again, your money continues to earn 7% compound interest while it's still in the count. So even if you are working for Nueces County and you were to separate employment, you were to leave the county, you can leave your money right with TCDRS. Leave it in that TCDRS account. It'll still continue to earn 7% compound interest annually. And because you may go to somewhere where you earn proportionate service, you would still become, let's say you weren't vested with the county. Let's say you had 5 years with the county and you left the county, but you go to work for the city. Well, that service time that you have with this, that you earn with the city through TMRS, can give you service credit towards in TCDRS and still eventually become vested and eligible for that retirement benefit. If you ever separate employment from the county and leave your money in TCDRS, then you can leave your money in that account up until the age of 72, when the IRS requires you to start taking a distribution. And that's an IRS regulation, not a TCDRS regulation. Now, how do you become eligible to retire? Well, it's meeting one of 3 retirement eligibility rules. So different from TMRS, TCDRS has 3 different rules of eligibility as a Nueces County employee. One is being vested, having a minimum 8 years of service, and reaching the age 60. That even means if you do 8 years of service at Nueces County and you were to leave your money with TCDRS, let it continue to compound interest, leave it in there, and eventually you could still become eligible for a retirement benefit as early as age 60. There's a kind of a middle rule that we call the rule of 80. And that's where if your years of service plus your age, if you add those 2 numbers together and they equal the number 80, then that would make you eligible to retire. So for example, if you're 54 years of age and you have 26 years of service, when you add those 2 numbers up together, that equals the number 80. So that's how that years of service plus your age equals 80 works. Now, differently from TMRS, TMRS has that 20-year service at any age. The county's eligibility is a little higher. It's 30 years of service at any age. And so that benefits someone who started with the county really, really young. to hit that rule first. But again, even though there's 3 rules of eligibility, you only have to meet 1 rule. And the first rule that you would meet, that's the only one that applies. You don't have to worry about meeting additional retirement eligibility rules. Now, once you're retired and you're taking that lifetime retirement benefit, cost of living adjustments from Nueces County, those are determined by the Commissioners Court. That's the governing body that maintains the plan and decide what those benefits are for Nueces County employees. And so each year as they look at the plan, they determine whether or whether not to give retirees a COLA or a cost of living adjustment. So some years they may, some years they may not. So, but that is determined by the governing body of Nueces County. And so we look forward to any questions that you have. And, feel free to shoot those. We'd love to answer those once we have that Q&A.
So next, I would like for Lorraine to just go over what's the same, so we can get a real good idea of, after all this explanation that we've gotten, if Lorraine, you can go through what's the same and what's different, so we can identify each similarity, each difference, and then we can move forward to our FAQ.
Okay. Yeah, basically, like, and I'm sorry, Richard said,
Richard.
most of it is the similarities. The difference is the retirement eligibility, of course. Ours is 20 years or 5 years at age 60. We do not have to meet the rule of anything on our side. The contributions, again, is the 7%. The matching is the 2-to-1. And just like the county, if you decide to refund your account, you forfeit the right to the city's matching as well. So the only way to get it is in the way of a monthly check, basically. The other thing is the time does transfer from any other system, the county, the state, or teachers. And like Richard mentioned, it falls under proportionate service. That is a state law that was passed. So we, again, combine time. We never combine the money. So basically, you leave your money with each system, and eventually you can retire with both systems, meeting each system's retirement eligibility. Again, TMRS does guarantee you a lifetime benefit, and it also can guarantee you a lifetime benefit for your primary beneficiary, which is usually a spouse, is the way we look at it. Is if you're married, not only you, but you can select an option that will pay your spouse a lifetime benefit as well. So you forfeit that if you refund your account. That's basically the same thing. And the city does match you the 2-to-1, but again, the only way to get the matching is, I cannot emphasize enough, is in a way of a monthly check. So if you opt to not draw that monthly check, you will not get the city's portion as well. That's if there's any questions or anything that you might have, Raymond, that I need to touch on, let me know.
No, that's fantastic. We're moving on to the next slide.
You bet, and that's absolutely spot on, Lorraine. The whole goal is that we, work hard and we get that retirement benefit. So, waiting and getting those matching dollars is super excited. It's super exciting, and it's so worth it. So, some of the differences, I know you're hearing from both myself and Lorraine from 2 different systems. So much is very similar. But what's different about TMRS versus TCDRS? Again, your vesting period. With the city, with TMRS, is 5 years of service versus with TCDRS as a county employee, that vesting period is 8 years of service. Those of you with TMRS, with money in your TMRS account, your money will continue to earn 5% compound interest each year while that money's in the account. So even if you were to leave the city, leave that money there, let it earn that 5% compound interest. TCDRS, your money earns 7% compound interest while that money's in the account. So as an employee of the county or even a district, you're contributing 7% and earning 7% interest, if you're in Nueces County. versus TMRS, you're contributing 7% of pay, earning 5% compound interest. But that compound effect is a huge thing. It is a driving force, especially when you have years of service. That driving force, longevity, that compound interest really builds up over time. TMRS, you've got COLAs for retirees. COLAs are a little different when you retire as an Oasis County employee. A COLA is determined by the Commissioner's Court each year by the governing body of the employer, and that's system wide. That's not just in Oasis County. That's system wide as TCDRS. Again, as a TMRS employee, as a member, your retirement eligibility is a little different than TCDRS. Your a couple of rules there with retirement eligibility. TMRS, when you reach vesting at 5 years of service and you're at least the minimum age 60, or you do 20 years of service, it doesn't matter what age you are. That eligibility, again, there's 3 rules of eligibility as a TCDRS member of Nueces County. If you're vested with 8 years of service and at least the minimum age 60, or you have 30 years of service at any age, it doesn't matter what your age is. Then there's that additional middle rule where if you meet that rule of 80, where your years of service plus your age, when you add those 2 numbers together and they equal the number 80, then you would fall under that category. So those are some of the differences between TMRS and TCDRS.
Yeah, and if I can touch a little bit on the COLAs, the COLAs basically with TMRS is the city has the option to select what percentage they want to provide to the retirees when it comes to a COLA, and it can either be 70, 50, or 30%, but it's considered on whatever the CPI for that year is. So that's that's also the difference on the COLAs with the county. The cities with TMRS have the ability to select what percentage they give their retirees. And again, the percentage is based on whatever that CPI for that year is. And like Richard mentioned a while ago, sometimes depending if there's not a CPI, Consumer Price Index, by the government, that means that you probably won't get a COLA as well. And then we also have, like we mentioned earlier, the updated service credit, and that is just a feature that basically provides, an additional benefit to your account when there's been a plan change or a salary increase, and I'm talking promotion-wise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all that great information. So now we're going to our FAQ. So in this section, we've actually have sent out pretty much questionnaires for our employees to come back and give us questions so we can answer them. And, you are the professionals, and we want to make sure that we get professionals in front of you to get you those answers. And we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page and communicating very well. So the following, we'll be doing FAQs. Then afterwards, we'll have a quick example, and then we'll take questions. So I see a lot of people raising their hands, wanting to ask the question. We will have that time right at the end. But for the next part of this presentation, we will be going over our frequently asked questions. And if, Lorraine, you want to take care of the first one, here we go.
Okay, I just want to make sure, let me get to it.
I'm happy to ask if you like. Go ahead.
Time. Okay. Yeah, for some reason I have a little screen above it. Will I lose service time if I transfer to the city or county retirement plan? No, you will not. You do not lose your time. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we always combine time from one system to another. We just don't combine the money. So if you have 5 years with the city of Corpus and you go to the county to meet retirement eligibility, you work 15 years for the county, you're eligible to retire under TMRS. Again, your annuity with TMRS is going to be based on the money and the interest and the matching your account has with Corpus Christi only.
Great. And I see Richard was shaking his head as well for TCDRS.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you were to leave the county and go to work for the city, that service time that you have with TCDRS would be counted would be counted by the city. Same thing, if you come from the city and go to work at Nueces County, same thing. All you would need to do once you're employed at the county is give our member service folks a call here at TCDRS and let us know of that TMRS service time. We'll be happy to add any service time to your TCDRS account. Even that we don't, even if you were to choose to withdraw your money out of another proportionate service system, we can still count the time. It doesn't matter if you have money in the account or not. But we encourage you to leave your money there if you leave that employer so you can get that interest. You know, you're still, because time is fluid. You know, if you do that service time, you know, if you leave the county, go to work for the city, I mean, and you're still going to become eligible for a, you know, vesting and retirement eligibility.
Okay, great.
That's
Yeah,
really
that is
important.
yeah, if I can say, just add to what Richard said, that is correct. Even if you refund your accounts, you pulled your money and you want to get the time credit, for TMRS, you can apply for the time credit under restricted service. So that is true. The other thing I was going to mention is basically if you combine the time, and like I mentioned earlier, you might not be able to retire at the same time, but eventually you can retire with both systems. So it is very important that if you go from the city to the county, you let TMRS know that you're now under the county, and you want to let, like Richard said, the county know that you've got time under TMRS, because what we do is we basically flag your accounts that you've got time with the other system. So very, very important that you do notify each system that you've got time with the other. Thank you.
Okay, great. The next one says, will money transfer between retirement accounts?
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Richard.
The answer is, you're correct, Lorraine. You know, and you mentioned that just a minute ago. The answer is no. Money will always stay separate. And the reason why, if you come from TMRS and then join the county at TCDRS, money's not combined, because any money from TMRS in your TMRS account isn't going to be matched by the county, and vice versa. Any money in your TCDRS account isn't going to be matched by the city of Corpus Christi. So money will always stay separate.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. But if you separate employment from the county, but you leave your money in your TCDRS account, don't forget that your TCDRS account will still continue to earn 7% compound interest annually. And then time-wise, eventually you become vested. And if you meet your retirement eligibility, then you'll still earn those matching dollars from the county once choosing to take a monthly lifetime retirement benefit.
Okay, great. The next question says, can an employee receive the 2-to-1 match in TMRS by vesting based on the time worked in TCDRS and vice versa? Does the term becoming vested automatically mean that you've earned the 2-to-1 match?
That's a great question. And again, the 2-to-1 only comes into play, the matching comes into play when you retire and choose to draw that monthly benefit. But I'm going to back up a little bit. When you start working full-time for a city, there's 2 accounts at TMRS. There's the members and there's the city. Every month that you contribute to your account, the city is contributing to their account for your matching. So the city is pre-funding your benefit. But the only way to get the matching is in a way of a monthly check. And that's where a lot of people get confused, that they think that once they become vested, the city starts putting money in their account with TMRS. That is incorrect. The only way to get the city's matching is in a way of a monthly check. So you basically have to meet retirement eligibility and choose to draw that monthly benefit to get that 2-to-1. Whether you have 20 or 30 or 40 years, if you do not choose that monthly benefit, you will not get the city's matching. Thank you.
And that is the operative word. I heard you mention it, Lorraine, about 3 times. When you choose to retire, that's the biggest word right there. When you become vested, you don't, as far as those matching dollars. So that was beautifully and well said.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Very similarly to TCDRS, absolutely. And
Yeah.
if you're hearing a lot of similarities, I just wanted to let y'all know, if you're hearing a lot of similarities between TCDRS and TMRS, we are very similar. When TMRS was established, TCDRS wasn't born yet, but when TCDRS became became available to county and district employees, we modeled a lot of our structure just like TMRS. And that's what makes both systems very solid and secure.
Very true.
Okay. Great. To keep us moving along, I'll get to the next one. I have 7 years, 7 months service with the City of Corpus Christi and 9 months of service with the City of Portland. Am I considered vested with Nueces County?
Do you want me to go ahead and take that one since it says I'm vested with Nueces County?
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
Okay, absolutely. So if you're one that has 7 years, 7 months, and then 9 months from another city, if both of those cities are part of TMRS, then all that service time would be in TMRS. You can add all that service time to your TCDRS time, and that would make you vested with Nueces County because that in that example, that would put you over that 8-year mark. So that would make you vested in TCDRS with Nueces County.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Will the Texas retirement system collect the all-time worked at various Texas institutions from the employee's social security number as a TRS automatic service, or does the employee have to file retirement for each of the Texas institutions where they worked when they are ready to retire from the City of Corpus Christi?
That is a great question. So basically, if and when you want to meet, or when you meet retirement eligibility and you want to retire, you have to contact each system. And because like we said, each system is different in a little, in a one way or the other, but you do have to complete an application for each system. So the best thing to do is you contact each system. If we are needing to use for example, the previous years, we need to use your county time, then yes, we will contact the county to verify that you do have enough time to meet the retirement eligibility under TMRS. And then you fill out your paperwork under TMRS. If you're going to want to retire with the county, you fill out the application for them. And if they need to verify service credit with us, they will. But you've filled out your paperwork with each system. That's the key word. You have to do your paperwork with each system because the applications might be just a little bit different than the other. Thank you. And Richard, if you want to touch on that a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. If you retire from TMRS, it doesn't necessarily mean your TCDRS benefit's going to start if you have 2 accounts. So you'll want to file for retirement with each system. And does it mean you have to take if you're one that may have an account with TMRS and an account with TCDRS, do you have to take them both at the same time? Absolutely not. You can take one before the other. It's perfectly fine. But when you're ready, when you meet that eligibility and you choose to take that retirement benefit to get it started, you've got to apply for that retirement benefit with each system.
Okay, great. We have another couple, so I'll get to this next one. Because of the city-county separation, if person is not selected for a city position, can they apply for retirement, or will it be too late since they will no longer be employed by the city? Does the 2-to-1 investment feature only work if the employee is still employed with the city? If not, will the employee have the option to request TMRS retirement as a non-city employee, but only receive their own TMRS contributions and not the city's portion?
Okay, I just want to make sure. So one thing to remember, the city, you as a member, your account is protected by law. So if you are in a situation where you get laid off and you're vested, you have the option to leave your money in with TMRS. At the age of 60, you can come back and retire the account if you don't go back to another system or another TMRS city. So no, you won't lose the city's matching if you do not pull your money out. I cannot emphasize enough the key word, retirement, and choose that monthly benefit. As long as you do that, you're going to get the matching, whether you do it now and you're eligible now and you got laid off, or you got laid off but you're vested and you just went and worked for the private sector. You left your money until the age of 60, you can start drawing a benefit. or if you just went to another system, that you went to the county or the teachers or the state, you pick up from where you left off on time-wise. Just remember that. So the key word is retirement. Choose that monthly benefit, and you're going to get the city's matching. The only way you lose it is if you refund your account. Thank you.
Okay.
Richard, if you want to touch on it.
Yeah, very, very well said. Very similar to TCDRS. Do you have to be employed with the county at the time you want to retire? No, you don't have to be, an employee of the county. If you're one that separates employment and leaves your money with TCDRS, then you could still become eligible down the road with other proportionate service. Or even if you leave the county and you're eligible to retire, but you choose not to take the retirement benefit at that time, perfectly fine. You could leave the money in the account, and it's completely up to you once you meet eligibility. If you're already eligible, it's completely up to you when you choose to take that monthly retirement benefit and then get that 2-to-1 match.
Okay, great. I think there's just a couple more questions on the FAQ screen, so I'll get through those and then we can get to the example.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When retiring, TRS also adjusts for pay increases. How does the updated service credit work?
Okay, again, USC comes into play when there's been a salary increase, and I'm talking promotion-wise, or there's been a plan change that you were, unfortunately, Corpus is at the high of the 7-2-1. But if you were with the city and they were at 6-1-1, and then they made the plan change to 7-2-1, then you automatically get updated service credit. So again, if you come into the city and they're at 7-2-1, you probably will not see any updated service credit if your salary stays steady. But if you promote, if you get a promotion, your salary increases significantly, and I'm talking, like I mentioned earlier, $4,000 to $5,000 difference, then you will get an updated service credit. And again, the credit becomes a monetary value if and when you do choose to retire and draw that monthly benefit. Because again, just like the matching, if you refund your account, you will lose any updated service credit you might have, along with the monetary value of it. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, last one here. Does one program pay out better than the other? Can you give a projection of what my income would be for a certain time frame?
Okay, well, we can run estimates, and we did some. And again, one thing that I want to emphasize, TMRS is a cash value account. TMRS, your retirement is based with your deposits, interest, matching, any updated service credits you might have. And then, we base a 5% future interest based into that account, and we divide it based on the life expectancy. That is how TMRS calculates the monthly benefits. We don't use the formula. We don't use the last 3 highest years, because a lot of people hear that. And that is the difference between the updated service credit and the annuity calculation. So again, your annuity increase is based on your deposits, your interest, your matching, updated service credits, and then we pay a 5% future interest based on the member's life expectancy into that account. Once all that is put together, then it's divided based on the life expectancy, so we can calculate the monthly benefit, and depending on the retirement option that is selected, because if you select not only for your lifetime but also your beneficiaries, then we have to calculate 2 life expectancies. So from that standpoint, I think we might be a little bit different than the county, but I'm going to let Richard touch on that.
Sure, absolutely. And of course, as a county employee, you're contributing 7% and you earn 7% interest. Your contributions may be a little bit more, but also too, a big part of all this is, again, we're a cash balance just like TMRS. So what matters at the time you're taking the retirement benefit is how long have you been contributing? What's the balance and the interest, earning the interest? The longer you stay in the system, the overall bigger the balance that you have, You know, and also too, your age has a big part in this in the retirement calculation, because the older you are when you take the retirement benefit, on that life expectancy, the shorter period of time to pay you out, supposedly. Again, the good thing is it's a lifetime benefit you're working on. So if you outlive the life expectancy tables, hey, keep on living. You know, you might be one that monthly check, you know, you might live longer just knowing that monthly check's going to come to you, because, you know, you're going to keep, it's going to come to you for life. But it's all a matter of, you know, again, that final account balance at the time you choose to retire of your deposits and interest, adding that future interest as well, and then bringing over those matching dollars and calculating it over your entire life expectancy.
Yeah, that is correct. Life expectancy is a big factor, and the longer you work, the more money you put in. The older you are, the shorter your life expectancy, so your annuity will be a little bit higher. That is correct. Good points, Richard.
You betcha. And the option you choose definitely is a huge determining factor. The higher your the higher the monthly payment option you choose for yourself. If you need more in retirement out of those payout options, the higher your monthly check is. Once you pass away in retirement, the less you're leaving behind to your beneficiaries. But if you choose that you want to take a monthly benefit yourself, and then at the time of your death and retirement, you want to leave a lifetime monthly benefit to one primary beneficiary for their life, that's going to play an effect on your monthly check. Also, too, the age. If you choose a dual life option, if you want to leave a lifetime payment to somebody else upon your death, the age of that beneficiary you choose highly determines and affects your monthly check, because now you're leaving it to someone who has a much longer period of time to pay out.
That is correct. Good point.
So really, does one pay better than the other? That is completely subjective, because again, at the bottom line, it's all about how much is in your account at the time you're taking the retirement benefit and the payout option you choose on that monthly lifetime benefit. And then if you choose to leave a lifetime benefit and additionally to a beneficiary. So it's very, very subjective.
Correct.
Okay, great. Well, that does it for the FAQs. I think, Ray, I'll turn it back to you, and then I can advance the slide.
Yeah, we have two more slides. One is just a quick example of the projection. And if you want to go ahead and click the spacebar one more time. So here's the question. Employee date of birth of January 1969, and would retire at an age of 50 with 20 years of service. What would their, you know, hypothetical retirement payout be? TCDRS, you know, we have all that information, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. The estimated employee's account balance with a calculating 7% contribution and earning 7% compound interest annually on a $63,000 annual salary for 20 years would be about $181,533.94. If the 363,078 would be the match. Is that correct?
That's the value of the match. So that 181,533.94, again, as Lorraine and I have been saying, the balance of your account, that represents the total contributions over those 20 years, as well as the 7% compound interest. So that would represent an employee's account balance at the time they're choosing to retire. And then that additional amount, when we talk about the 2-to-1 match, if the balance of the employee's account was 181,533.94, and they're taking the retirement benefit, then we'd add those matching dollars, that 2-to-1 match valued at $363,067.88. And so that total estimated value of that retirement account at that time would be $544,601.82. And again, the monthly benefit would be determined depending on the payout option that person would choose at that time.
Right, absolutely. And as far as for TMRS, the note was, of course, it is a cash value account. So the more you work, the more you contribute, the more you will get for retirement. And again, all this is subjective. It's always dependent upon the employee. Is that correct, Lorraine?
That is correct. It's based on, you know, how long you've worked, how much money you've contributed, because again, you know, you could have started at $10 an hour and now you're making $50 an hour. I'm just using an example. So all that is taken into consideration and stuff. And of course, the updated service credit. And then it's based on whatever retirement option you select is what your monthly annuity is based on. Correct.
All right. With that example, we're gonna go to our final questions.
Yes, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Lorraine, currently, right now, I'm a city employee, but we're having to reapply for our position. So we reapply for our positions and we get the position, where is our retirement going to go for those new positions?
Okay, when you say new position, are we talking with the city or going to the county if you go to the new position?
I think they're gonna go to the health district now, is what we're being told. They were originally with the city, but now it looks like it's gonna go with the health district. So where is that gonna go?
Where is that, so that means the county? I don't know. Would that be based on
I don't
under the
know.
county or would? I don't either.
I don't know. I mean, I've worked for the health district for 23 years and my money is in the city retirement system, TMRS, for 23 years. But now we're reapplying at the health district. Where does our money go? Does it go to the city or the county, or is there going to be a new retirement system with the health district?
Well, that's a great question, and unfortunately, that's going to be a city question because I don't know. You know, from that standpoint, your money will stay with TMRS. If the position or the department stays under the city, then it's still TMRS. So you just pick up from where you're at. You don't lose anything. If for some reason goes to the county, then you basically have your retirement with the city with 23 years. And, you know, like Richard mentioned earlier, if you want to retire it, you can retire it and start drawing a pension. And then you start your accounts with the county because you're now with a different system. But at the same time, you don't have to retire your TMRS account if you start working for the county. You can leave it alone. It's going to continue to draw interest at 5% and it's compounding interest. So you can leave it there and you know it's there and you can come back and retire it at any time. Unfortunately, I don't know, you know, where the department's going, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so if I moved over to the county, because I have 23 years with the city and I moved over to the county and I did 5 years with the county. So since I have 23 years, that counts towards my age. So now I'm vested and I'm eligible, or I'm eligible because of my age. And now I'm going to get the 2-to-1 match on the county side as well as the city side.
If you were to go to the county, of course, that 23 years of service with TMRS would give you that time credit in our system. So yes, you would be vested, and if you're already, you know, say over the age of 60, of course, you're already eligible as well. So you'd walk in the door vested and eligible. Financially, you would start a new account financially. So you would start.
Okay, so if I
county.
Go ahead.
a new account with the county.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
your retirement with the county would be based on whatever monies you put in with the county, correct?
That is correct.
So let's pretend like I worked for 2 years at $100,000 per year. So that's $200,000 for those 2 years. That $200,000, whatever money I put in, that's going to be matched by the county 2-to-1 with a 7% compound interest.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your account balance of the 7% of your salary plus the interest earned, that would be matched at the time you choose to take the retirement benefit. Yes, ma'am.
And so I could retire with the city and move to the county and then retire with the county, or you have to retire at the same time?
No, each account.
No, you don't have to
completely
retire
different.
at the same time.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Right. And even if you, like in
Okay.
your scenario, if you said, you know, I'm going to put in, you know, did a couple of years, for example, and then you decided to, you know, with all the time in there, you're already vested eligible, but you don't want to take the retirement benefit at that upon separating employment from the county, you don't have to. Again, you can leave the money in the account, let it sit and earn 7% compound interest and draw it later.
And when you're saying you move the time to the county so I could be vested, I'm not losing the time on the city. I'm not losing my 23 years time. I'm still vested with the city and I'll still get the 2-to-1 match on the city side.
Correct. And the time-wise, we just communicate with each system to use the time from one system to another to meet retirement eligibility and vesting purposes is basically what it is. But, the money stays separate. It's just combining the time to meet retirement eligibility with the other system.
Okay.
You don't
And
lose
for
it,
the
you don't
COLA?
lose, in your example, you don't lose your city time.
Okay. But we don't know what we're applying for. We're applying for city retirement or county retirement. We're just applying. So we need to find that out. But for the COLA, you gave an example about December. So if you retired in December, the next December, your COLA wouldn't go into effect. Would it go into effect in January? Because it's been
No,
a year
ma'am.
from December to December.
No, ma'am, that's a great question. Believe me, you're not the first one, you won't be the last one. We always get the questions. No, you would actually have to wait because cost of living raises are only given on December 31st. So you would have to wait. So in this example, say you retired December of 2021. December of 2022, you're not eligible for it. You would have to wait till December of 2023 to get the cost of living at that time. And again, it is whatever the percentage the city has, and it is the percentage of whatever the CPI is for that year.
Okay. So I guess an example maybe like is it better to retire in January? Because then you would be eligible the following January because they make that decision in December, or no?
No, ma'am, because if you retire in January, that following December, that same December of that year, that's when they give the cost of living raises, December 31st, every December 31st. So you retire in
Okay.
January of, in this example, January
Right.
of 2022. Come December of 2022, you're not eligible for it. You have to wait till December of 2023 then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's
Okay.
basically
Wow.
13,
Okay.
you have to be gone for 13 months. But in that example that you asked, well, because if I leave in December and I'm not eligible till January to get it, do I get it? No, you have to wait the full year in order to get it when they award it again, which would be the following December 31st.
Okay. So what happens if I was this is just for my staff. So if I was a county employee, let's say I was a county employee for 4 years. I'm not eligible by age. I'm not eligible by years. And now I become a city employee. So I've only been with the county 4 years, and now I'm a city employee. And so I'm starting over with money. So I go 5 more years instead of just 1 year because I'm already at 4 years. Now I go 5 more years to get vested with the city so I can get that 2-to-1 match money-wise. But what happens to that 4 years with the county when I am eligible to retire? Is that going to be a 2-to-1 match as well?
As long as you leave
The county
money,
side?
as long as you leave the money with the county, that's correct. You would become eligible. You'd be, with your 5 years with the county, you go to work for the city, or 4 years with the county. Say you do 5 years with the city, and we add that service time with TMRS to your TCRS account. That gives you 9 years of service, so they get you vested. And just remember, as long as you leave the money in the system, let it continue to earn compound interest, you'd eventually become eligible or meet an eligibility rule with TCDRS. To be able to draw that monthly lifetime retirement benefit, which would include the matching dollars from the county.
And just remember,
Okay.
you just
Thank you.
notify you just need to notify each system. So in this example, you just want to let the county know, hey, I'm leaving, but I'm going to be under TMRS. So that way they know and your account continues to draw the interest. And if it's vice versa, the same thing with us, let us know. So that way your account continues to draw interest and it doesn't, we don't have to stop it at any time because we don't know that you're with the other system or not.
And
Okay.
I apologize. I do need to chime in here really quickly. I am so sorry. I've got another appointment or a meeting at 4 o'clock with a member. I need to counsel a member at 4 o'clock. So I apologize. I need to kindly exit out of this meeting. Thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it. And if we can assist you or anybody with any questions with TCDRS, please feel free to contact member services or us here at TCDRS with any questions you have. We'd love to help you. Thank you so much.
Have a good one, Richard.
Thank you, and I apologize.
Thank you so much.
I'm here if y'all have any other questions for TMRS.
I don't see any hands being raised, so I'm thinking Oh, wait, we have one more. Yes, we have Blandina. Give me
There's
one
one.
second, Blandina. Let me unmute you. All right, go ahead, Blandina.
So can you hear me fine?
Hi. Yes, ma'am.
So in the next example, she said, what if we reapply for our job and we have it and we're now in another entity, whether it be a city or a county? But the scenario that I like to ask is, what if you're not hired? So if you're a city employee or you're a county employee and you go into your interview and you do not get the position, is that the time where you have to notify your retirement system and say, okay, I'm gonna be out, but I intend to go back to work, for one of the, state agencies? Do you
Well, and
get
that's a great question. That's a great question. The key word, if you are vested, you don't have to worry about it because you can leave employment and you know your account is okay because it's going to continue to draw interest and you can come back at the age of 60. But say you're not vested under TMRS and you know that, you didn't get the job, so you're going to have to start looking. So you're going to probably look with either another TMRS city or county or state or teachers. So what you want to do is you're going to be able to leave your money in. When somebody is not vested with TMRS and they leave employment because you had to leave or your job ended or whatever, you do have the option to leave your money in with TMRS for 5 years. It will continue to earn interest. If within that 5-year window, you do not come back to work for a TMRS city or another state agency like the county, the state, or teachers, or the judges, judicial system, or even the city of Austin, then you will have to pull your money out because then what we call it, it goes to an escheated account. Your account's no longer going to draw interest. But you do have that 5-year window to leave it in if you are not vested, and then decide what you want to do within that 5-year window. But once you start working, if it's with another entity, you want to call TMRS right away and let us know, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm now under the county, the state, or the teachers or whatever, so that we can flag your account and your account will continue to draw the interest, that 5%, and like we said, it's compounding interest. So the key word is notify us if you are not vested and you go to another system, because that way we can flag your account. If you're vested, then you know you can leave your account in till the age of 60. But even if you go to another entity, it's good for you to notify us and let us know that you're with another system, so we'll know that you're going to end up eventually having proportionate service, that you can retire sooner than later. Instead of age 60, you might be able to retire sooner because combining times, you might meet the retirement eligibility sooner. Good question.
What if you don't notify? Is the time retroactive on the time that should have been accumulating, compounding the interest? Let's say we didn't notify.
Well, that is a great question, because what's going to happen if you are not vested and you do not notify us and that 60-day window has expired, your account's going to go to an escheated account, so which means it's not going to draw interest. Then in a year or two, you notify us that, oh, by the way, I was with the county or the state or the teachers. What's going to happen is we have to go back in and recalculate that, which it's a big problem because we have to figure out the interest, how much, and all that good stuff. It just becomes more of a headache than anything else. That's why I said the best thing to do is notify us right away. Because we do go back and put the interest in the account. It's just more of a headache and having to go back and recalculate everything.
So it's
But
not
great
automatic.
question.
So then, do you have a contact information that you will be providing later on for our city employees? Because I think I'm under that exact scenario that you just mentioned. And
Okay.
we're going to have to go back
let me
retroactive.
Let me give you my information. That way you have it. Again, it's Lorraine Moreno.
Oh,
If
actually,
y'all
what
want
I
to write
can,
it down?
oh, what I'll do is I'm gonna post it on the communication hub underneath the video.
Okay.
So if there's any questions that you may want to ask our representatives, I'll give you that information, for you to contact, and then we can get you those answers, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I got Letty Hernandez. Let me get you. And I guess this will be the last question of the day. And again, if you have any other questions, again, I'm going to post this video on the communications hub. You can actually send questions to me at any time. My information is at the bottom as well, and we can get you those answers because at the end of the day, that is the goal of this whole presentation. We want to make sure that you guys are put at ease and we can answer and communicate with you as much as we can. So Letty, you'll have the last question of the day. Go for it.
Lorraine, my question basically is a projection. I'm the one that asked that question. I would like to, but it entails a lot of personal information on how I want to determine the outcome of that. So basically, I was just wondering if there is a team or if you particularly could make a projection based on the information I'm going to provide you about myself on how I want it set up at the very end, how much I would be receiving at the end of a
Okay.
certain time
Are
frame.
you with the city right now, correct?
No, ma'am. I'm currently with the county, and I just
Oh, you're currently with.
yes, I'm currently with
Okay.
the county, and what I was, I had my own plans on how long I wanted to work, and so I just need to determine what to consider there. So
Okay. Well, we can try to do a hypothetical estimate. Again, might not be the correct numbers, but we can try to give you like what we call a hypothetical estimate. Yes, ma'am.
okay, yes, that would work for me because I know TCDRS has a calculating table that you can make those determinations, and they give you the outcome based on what you put
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, and we do that. We can run you an estimate, but because you're not under TMRS, we can't calculate the estimate. We have to create what we call a hypothetical estimate.
Right.
Is the thing, yeah. So, but Raymond, and let me just touch on base. Let me just give out my phone number. If y'all have any questions, feel free to call me. Are you going to put both my email and my phone number at the bottom of the presentation?
I was gonna put your email. I didn't want to put your phone number unless I have your permission.
No, that's fine. I can give you my cell number if y'all have any questions. It's 512-569-3994. Don't everybody call it once, but yes, you can feel free to call me. That is my work cell number. But so yeah, that is my work cell number. Feel free to call me if y'all have any questions or anything. And I can definitely try to help you guys in any way I can. But yeah, you can also email me. And it's just lmoreno@tmrs.com.
All right, fantastic. And I guess on that note, everyone, again, I appreciate everyone. I mean, I think a lot of good information was given today, and I'm hoping that a lot of you are happy with these results. Because again, as a city employees, city manager's office, we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of at all times, and we want to make sure that everybody here has a say, gets their voice heard, and get those answers that they deserve. Remember, you guys are great.
Correct.
We appreciate all the hard work that you do, and we hope that it continues, not just today, tomorrow, but way into the future, so all of us can have a great and happy retirement. So on that note, thank you everyone for your participation. Have yourselves a great day, and again, take care. Bye-bye.
And stay warm.
Stay warm.